How you been anyway, mate? It's exciting times. The album is out in just over a week, a couple of hours, a week's time in Australia. We'll have it out here. How are you feeling about the whole thing?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, we are really excited because it's been so many years
Mm.
since our last album. So it feels kind of a little bit like a like a comeback or something. I mean, we have released singles and played concerts, but still like full album is something different, I would say. And yeah, 6 years, it's a long time, especially in these quick times, right? So, but yeah,
Yeah.
we're still there and yeah, we are really excited.
No, and it's good because you didn't tease the singles for too long. It's one thing I don't like about the new algorithm with Spotify is that a band will release a single and you're like, okay, when's the album coming out? And then it's 2 years later. I feel like the hype wears down, or it revs up, and then wears right down. You get the album, you're like, oh, they released everything before the album even came out.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's also why we said like we want that at least half of the album is still new. I mean, of course, it's like, yeah, as you said, like for the algorithm, like these songs then maybe get a little less attention or whatever. But still think like it's nice to get an actual album and not like, okay, you already know 9 songs, here's the 10th songs, and by the way, here's the album. It's but I mean, of course, like we're coming also from a time where albums were a normal thing, right? And
Yeah.
that's how I also started with, and that I sometimes would not even know anything about the album. There was just the album, and I didn't hear anything before. So, but yeah, times change. And I mean, I do also like the process for a band, like being constantly releasing over because it
Mm.
keeps you more in kind of flow and it feels more like, yeah, I don't know, like being kind of more connected to people. And yeah, okay, like once in a while releasing a song. It's also nice, but still I think it's important to have the full album experience.
I definitely agree. And speaking of that, because you grew up on the albums as well, when I was growing up on the albums, they were always in the CD format, but now vinyl's become so popular again. When you put the album from start to finish, do you take in mind the vinyl? Because I know in the early 2000s, every band on iTunes and before Spotify was even around, you'd notice all the singles were the first five songs and then everything else was, came later.
Yeah,
But do you
yeah.
take into like the account that, well, if people are buying a vinyl record, there's going to be an A side and a B side, so we can't front load the album with what we consider the best songs. Do you spread them out?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't think about it when making the album, but when it was kind of done, we thought, okay, like time-wise, it should be fine. I mean, I remember I talked with the label, like, what is actually the time limit? So yeah, okay, so we should not make it longer. So definitely, and
Yep.
also like, how do we separate the songs like on side A and side B, or will we need a second vinyl? But of course,
Mm.
that's always expensive, right?
Yeah.
So we tried to get it on one vinyl. So yeah, but I guess it worked kind of out. Fortunately, because maybe sometimes when it's not working out, like maybe because one song is too long, then maybe you have to to rearrange the track list. But yeah, it worked out on this one. But I remember back then, also for CDs, I remember when I was making the Sagas album, which was like the second album of Equilibrium. It was a very long album. It was like 75 minutes long.
Oh
And I
wow,
remember
yeah.
it was even longer, and Nuclear Blast said, "Ah, we need to cut a little bit, otherwise it's not fitting on one CD." So I remember having this issue with a CD actually back then.
Yeah, I remember because I used to, I grew up in the time where you could download music as well. So you could burn a CD, and I think they could be 78 minutes and 52 seconds or something like that. And I remember
Yeah,
always trying to get it as close. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Like, yeah, because as soon as you do a double album, you got to split things up, there's more
yeah,
packaging. So yeah, I completely understand it. But now we're in the digital age, so most people don't buy them anyway. They get them all on Spotify
yeah.
or vinyls for collection. So I like that at the end of the day. But you're right. It's been a long time since the last album. Was there any nerves when it come to putting together the music for this one? Like, wow, it's been a while. Like, we've really got to make it stand out.
Yeah, I mean, it's somehow yes, of course, like because it's so long, and actually, it we also changed a little bit our plans because the first idea was actually to come out with an EP last year, and
Mm.
was almost basically done, like so to say half of the album. But then we thought, it doesn't really feel right. Like after all this time and then just an EP or something, we want to have like a full album. And of course, then it means like, okay, more months waiting. But we just thought it makes more sense after all this time. And yeah, I mean, like the songs that you can hear on the album, they are kind of, I mean, some of the songs I already started writing like during the COVID time, for example,
Yeah.
and some songs are much more new, like even from this or last year. So it's a mix. Like basically, it's the collection of the songs that we wrote during the time after our last album. And yeah, I mean, of course, we thought like, okay, like we better make it great. People might have expectations, but at the same time, like it's you should not go too much into this mindset, thinking all
Mm.
the time about what people would expect, because at the end, you should be happy with what you're doing. And I mean, we are happy with it, absolutely. I listened to it like a few days ago for the first time after having a longer break not listening to it, because I think it's sometimes nice, to listen to it with fresh ears, to disconnect a little
Yeah.
bit so that you can see a little bit what did we actually do there. And I'm still super happy with it. And yeah, of course, we hope that people will like it also.
No, no, I love it. I've had the chance to listen to it myself. I think it's great, and it's a good album. It kind of feels like it's telling a story. It's got its ups and its downs and everything. It's nice pacing, like a movie almost. Kind of got start, bit of action scene, a bit of storytelling here. And there's another scene, a bit of heartbreak here, and then it kind of ramps up right towards the end. So well done, like I said, well done
Yeah,
in crafting it like that way as well. It kind of feels like a start and a finish rather than a collection of songs. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense
yeah,
to you, but that's how I felt when
yeah.
I listened to it start to finish anyway.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. It's good to hear it. Yeah, we definitely thought about it. Like, of course, like all the songs are like individual songs, but we definitely put a lot of consideration about what would be the track list, where would we put some interludes to connect everything a little bit. So yeah, it was definitely intentional to give a
Beautiful.
little bit like a feeling of a journey. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I love that, especially when I'm listening to music because you can get so immersed in it as well. So I like it when it kind of paints that story. But speaking of paint, I've got to ask you the I'll Be Thunder video. That was definitely different. You guys looked pretty much unrecognizable in that video. How long did that take to get that all on? And how much of it was still coming off you after the days and days?
Yeah, that was a very interesting experience. Because also like for the music videos this time we see of course like a lot of bands and in general like AI is becoming a thing and everybody uses it for making art or art and videos and stuff. And we thought we want not to use this for these videos. We want to go full real and create everything like all the props, all the costumes. They're basically handmade. And yeah, so we wanted to do it like very organic. And so also for the makeup and stuff. Yeah, we engaged someone who would make like these hats, like this bald and the being bald and the facial stuff. So yeah, I think it didn't take too long, maybe for one person, like maybe 45 minutes or
Oh,
something.
that's
So
okay. Yeah.
it was okay. And he was also a professional in this makeup things. But the thing was, it was super sweaty underneath because somehow no air could breathe. So you could feel like I'm sweating like hell, but it cannot get out. And somehow it came like in the neck somewhere there. It was a little bit weird. And then after we were done with the shoot, we were so hungry, and we thought, okay, it will take more time to get all this shit out. Let's just get and we went to a kebab place. Just how we went, how we looked with our makeup still. So that was really funny. And then at home, like we would go under the shower and take everything off. But also this was very satisfying, like to peel like the
Oh, yeah, would be.
stuff
Yeah.
off. So yeah, it was fun.
Oh, you could have almost done a YouTube video afterwards of just an ASMR, like the real quiet of you peeling it and with the
Yeah.
microphone really close, and I'm sure that would have got tens of millions of views.
I think I actually recorded something. I remember I put my phone in front of the mirror. I actually have some footage. I'm not sure if it's social media content, but yeah, technically it would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. But mate, Rene, what do you have a favorite song from me? Now that you've said you've actually gone back and re-listened to it after a while of not listening to it, was there anything that stands out of I'm really proud of this one?
Oh, it's I think this always changes
Hmm.
because because they are kind of different, and you have with every song you have a different experience and memories. For me, for example, what I really like is actually the first song, which is Earth Tongue, which is kind of, when I started writing it, it was like I thought I want to make a song because most of the songs that we have, like a lot of stuff is happening, like a lot of different parts and stuff. And I thought it would be nice to start the album with kind of more like a repetitive track, like
Mm.
mantra-like, so that also with the lyrics that we would have just one or two sentences that would repeat all the time. And I mean, yeah, and it turned out to be kind of like this. I mean, there are some parts, but in general, it's like very, very flowy and repetitive, like in a way. And for me, I don't know. I have a strong connection to this track. For me, it felt like when I made this, it felt like a little bit, being kind of connected, being having some, spiritual moment, like because I think that's the thing, like with repetitive music, you get really into the moment, and you forget everything around you, and especially when you're working on it, and then you're listening to it on repeat anyway. So it was a very nice experience to make this, and I just really like the vibe of this song, and for me that's a very special song. I like to listen to it a lot. But yeah, also the other ones, I'm really happy with it. Yeah.
No, no, yeah, I know what you mean by that as well. Because sometimes the repetitiveness, it's interesting because it can almost trigger a chemical reaction in the brain. It's almost like dopamine. Kind of you're getting familiar with something. It's that pattern. It's almost
Yeah,
like a band like a Healang or Wardruna where it's a dum, dum,
yeah.
and it's the same thing for 8 minutes, but it's that repetitiveness starts to get kind of in your soul a little bit, and it's like you almost get that primal instinct. So yeah, I completely understand where you're coming from with that one.
Absolutely, especially since you're mentioning Heilung. I saw them, I think, 2 years ago here, and I felt exactly the same. You would think like, okay, that's so repetitive, but seeing this and feeling this, like the drums, even if it was sometimes really just tum, tum, it was so impactful that it really triggered emotions. And I thought this was a very interesting experience. And like with Equilibrium, like during the years, we always had kind of percussive elements, cinematic percussion,
Yeah.
whatever. And we are also using this actually live. We have emphasized this part also a little bit more live. Of course, still we are like a metal band and a lot of stuff is happening, but sometimes in between, it's really nice to have like these moments that take you a little bit out of it, like
Yeah.
make you recharge and make you ready for the next uh like firework of music. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, a lot of stuff is happening again. Yeah.
No, exactly. No, and it is well, and it is important. I feel, especially some metal bands don't understand that part. It's like you can't go 100 miles an hour all the time. It's like a movie. If an action movie had no brakes, it'd get boring.
Yeah.
So they're having the brakes and
Yeah.
everything. And then go. That's an important thing because everyone needs a breather. We're human after all. We're not AI yet. We're not all AI walking around here
Yeah.
with unlimited energy. We need that reset. It's just human nature at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's really about that, the contrast. Yeah. Yeah, totally. Mhm.
And speaking of the songs live as well, like, are you excited to get out there and kind of all the tracks that people don't know? Have you worked out what you kind of going to weave into the set list yet, or you're not 100% there?
I mean, we already played some of the material
Mm,
already live on our last tour this autumn, and right now, I mean, we're actually still in the planning of some concerts and tours for next year's, but we haven't went into the process of of creating the set list. But like all the songs that are on this album, they are definitely um, also kind of made with the intention to play it live. So
yeah,
all the songs should be able to do them live, and I think we will also do this. I don't know which we would do for the next shows, but yeah, we will like eventually we will play all of them.
beautiful, beautiful. I love to hear that. And did you take away anything from writing this album? Because, like you said, I know you're always writing as a musician. That's what you do. But recording this one after such a long break, did you learn anything new? Did you discover anything about yourself that you're going to take with you to the next album, whenever that may be?
Yeah, and I think this always happens with every album. Like you discover maybe musical ideas and stuff that you are doing on one track, but then you think, I would like to do more in this direction. For example, like when we finished the track Bloodwood, we thought, okay, th this has a really nice vibe. It has a little bit like I don't know, with the speed and the melodies, like anime
Mm.
vibe, but then it has this epicness, and we thought, it would be nice to do a few more songs a little bit in this direction. I mean, all the songs like every we try to that every song is kinda individual, not too similar to each other, but still, of course, you have a style and you want to use that style also. But yeah, th this definitely happened on this album. And also, what I figured out on the making of Equinox is like this time there was a lot of collaboration, with other session musicians and
Mm.
also with an external mixer, and also like Jesse, who also made the artwork and who is behind the scenes of the band, working for the band since many years. She also helped me a lot with the composition of songs, and she actually also wrote two of the songs. That's also something that I never really did before, like let other people actually touch or even write write a song that would be on the album, but it just came naturally and it felt so good. And that's what I really learned from this album, to open up, let other people also get into the project, because then at the end I feel it's even more satisfying, like to have created something together. Even though
Mm.
I'm a control freak and I used to do a lot of stuff by myself, I found that it was really beautiful to collaborate with other people. And of course it needs to be the right people, it
Oh,
needs
of
to
course.
fit.
Yeah.
And but if this is the case, then it's beautiful, and definitely I want to explore in this direction also more in the future.
No, I love that as well. And I like what you mentioned about the music videos because every music video had a different feel. Like I remember doing the reaction to the Bloodwood music video and kind of seeing it so primal in nature, and that kind of set everything apart. And then when I saw, I'll Be Thunder, that was so different as well, and everything. It kind of paints the picture. Like I said, you can listen to this album start to finish as a story. So if you go and watch the music videos, it almost tells you a different chapter of that story as well, because it's not just the band playing in a warehouse or something like that. It really kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
captures everything at the end of the day. It's something special and well done. Like I appreciate that you took that extra effort to do that.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it that people recognize this. We actually have one more video coming up that will be released on the release of the album, which
Oh
is
yeah.
going to be the video for Nexus. And this is actually the most yeah, that was the most complex video, because we had more people involved in this video, and also we shot it during winter times, like last winter,
Ooh.
and it was very cold and icy and snowy. And but yeah, the video turned out to be really great. And if you appreciate like the storytelling of the other videos like this, you might like this also. I think it turned out really beautiful.
No, I think I will. The way you're describing it as well. I love a good winter video as well because I know it's not an easy shoot. So I have that extra appreciation of like, I know you're not comfortable doing this, but it's paying for your art at the end of the day. So no, I like
Yeah,
that.
I totally agree. I
Yeah.
totally agree, and that's also why I say like as an artist, you don't want to let AI generate full stuff. I mean, you can use
Yeah.
it as a tool here and there, but not to fully generate something, because now while we were editing or cutting the video, we had so much memories, and as I said, like we could feel, man, we were so freezing that much, but yeah, it was the effort, it was the blood that we put into it, and now there is the result. You have such a different connection to what you're creating.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I think AI is going to have that bit of that stamp of, when every generation goes through that cheesiness of like it might be the weird teased hair of the 80s or the neon stuff in the early 90s or the 2000s, the big baggy pants. I think AI, when people look back on videos, are going to go, oh, that's when all the bands were using AI for a little bit. Because I think it's going to be popular for a couple of years. And then people are going to go, oh, that's kind of tacky and move on to other things. So I feel it's good to stay away from it because I think people are going to look back at it and go, oh, it was that cheap AI stuff they were using. So good idea not to
Yeah.
use it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's an interesting evolution. I mean, like I'm really a fan of the music videos of Falling in Reverse, because they are so huge and
Yeah.
massive production, and you can see that like they put effort in it. But I have the feeling like in 1 or 2 years you probably might be able to do this just with AI, and like where's the meaning of doing this? And then if everybody does it, then it's not interesting anymore. So yeah, we,
Exactly.
we will see how it goes.
Exactly. And I love the Falling in Reverse videos as well because they literally feel like big superhero movies, especially like Watch the World Burns or something like that. He
Yeah.
turns into Zod at the end with the laser eyes. But you're right. If everyone does it, then who cares? Like it's not
Yeah.
special. You know what will be popular? Like I was saying before, the band in the warehouse with the water on the floor so it reflects light. That's going to be the popular video because it doesn't
Yeah.
have any AI in it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, Rene, congratulations on the album release. It is out next week, so go down to the comments below because you can pre-save it. You can go over and pre-order it too. You got some cool looking vinyls over there. I've seen some of the merch there, so I will link that down below. But Rene, is there anything you want to say to people before I let you go this evening?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for everybody who is listening to our music and supporting the band. We haven't made it to Australia yet, but it's
No.
definitely on our to-do list. I remember like when we were entering the COVID time, during this time, there were some conversations about touring Australia, but then it didn't work out, of course, because of the pandemic. But it's still on our to-do list, and I hope that in 1 or 2 years we will make it to Australia and to finally play our first shows there.
Oh, well, I'll talk to Big John, and I know a couple of promoters around here, so maybe I'll float the idea past and we'll see if we can make that happen. But mate, it's been an absolute pleasure. Enjoy your album release week, and have the best day. Cheers.
Thank you very much. Bye
Thanks,
bye.
dude. Bye.